Hey guys, my name is Roger Daviston. I'm a personal development coach and I help people grow spiritually. I help people change their belief systems. I help people figure out how to work within their value systems so that they don't feel duplicitous when they change their behavior. And so in that regard, I'm a cognitive specialist. I help you think different so you can behave different so you can get better outcomes. And today I want to talk to you about giving freely, responsibly, and serving others. So stay tuned. If you followed me for a long time, you know you've probably heard me speak a lot about giving freely and receiving freely, and that the fulcrum of a healthy relationship, the fulcrum where it's balanced, relationships with other people is really when someone does something for you, how do you receive it? Do you receive it based on what's fair, or do you receive it based on just freely? And I want to talk to you about a story in Genesis chapter 24. And it's about Abraham sending his servant to go find his son Isaac a wife. He told him what to do, and so the servant took 10 camels with him on the trip, and he went to look for a wife. And I'm going to read you the end of the story and then talk to you about giving freely and serving other people. So here's what the servant did. When the servant got to the place where he was going to look for the wife for Isaac, he prayed and he said to the Lord, "Give me success today and show kindness to my master Abraham. I see I'm standing beside this spring, and the daughters of the townspeople are coming out to draw water." So there were women coming to draw water. So he said, "May it be that when I say to one of the women, one of the girls, 'Please let down your jar that I may have a drink,' and she says, 'Drink, and I will water your camels too.'" So he says, "Hey, have them, so I'll know it's the right girl, have them tell me they'll water my camels too." He says, "By this I will know that you have shown kindness to your master Abraham." And before he had finished praying, while he was still praying, Rebecca came out with her jar on her shoulder. She was the daughter of this guy and the other guy. I don't even know how to pronounce their names, but this girl was very beautiful, a virgin. No man had ever lain with her. And she went down to the spring, filled her jar, and came up again. The servant hurried to meet her and said, "Please give me a little water from your jar." "Drink, my lord," she said, and quickly lowered the jar to her hands and gave him a drink. After she had given him a drink, she replied, "I'll draw water for your camels too, until they have finished drinking." So she quickly emptied her jar into the trough, ran back to the well to draw more water, and drew enough for all of his camels. Without saying a word, the man watched her closely to learn whether or not the Lord had made his journey successful. When the camels had finished drinking, the man took out a gold nose ring weighing a beka and 2 gold bracelets weighing 10 shekels, and then he asked, "Whose daughter are you? Please tell me, is there room in your father's house for us to spend the night?" And she answered him, "I am the daughter, da-da-da-da-da." Anyway, you can go read the end of the story, but that Rebecca wound up being Isaac's wife and being part of the lineage of Jesus Christ. Jesus came from this family many, many generations later. Here's what I want you to see in this story. Rebecca gave freely and decided not only would she give the man a drink, but she would give 10 camels enough water and they would drink till they were full. Now, if you go do some research about camels, you'll understand that camels drink a whole lot of water, a whole lot of water. It isn't like you're going to give them one jar. Camels drink like 30 gallons of water to fill them up. And they had 10 camels. The servant had 10 camels. So you got 10 camels for them to drink and fill up. It might be at least 30 gallons. So just think about this. That's a lot of work. So there's two things going on. Rebecca is giving freely without expecting anything back. But here's another thing you got to understand. You cannot sow without reaping. Sometimes where you sow, you don't reap a harvest. Sometimes it's later, it's in a different season. In this particular example, it was pretty quick. But Rebecca watered those camels for hours. Abraham's servant watched. So he received freely. He had an attitude, well, I can receive this freely. And Rebecca had an attitude, well, I'm going to give this freely. And there was no fairness going on. And there was no expectation of I'm going to do this so I can get something back. It's just, I'm going to serve. I'm not saying do service calls for free. No. But I am saying that if you find opportunities to do more than you're paid for, more, because it'll come back to you multiplied. And find opportunities in your own life to allow people to give to you where you don't feel like you owe them something back. Because when you allow people to give to you and somebody wants to give freely, it really doesn't matter how they're giving it. What really matters is how do you receive that? Do you receive it freely or do you receive it based on what's fair? And if you receive it based on what's fair, you are going to feel an obligation to get out of debt to that other person. An obligation implies you don't have any free will. Obligation implies that you are handcuffed, that you are doing this because you have to. I do not like the word obligated. I like the word responsible. We have responsibilities to other people, but we don't have any obligation to others. But you have to think differently about how you receive. So if you can receive freely, you're not obligated, but that get you to, but then you have responsibilities in your life and you can give to other people responsibly. Giving and receiving is a spiritual principle, but giving and receiving freely. So freely you receive, freely you give. And if you can work more than you're paid for, and you can do more and add more value than the person expected, and really do that sincerely, those are seeds in the ground. And you just can't, God won't be mocked. What you sow, you are going to reap multiplied. So give and receive freely. If there's something you think I can help you with in your life, belief systems, behavioral changes, things that you really struggle with, we can talk, reach out to me, and maybe there's some way you can, usually the way we think keeps us stuck. And I'd love to be able to talk to you about some of those things. So listen, I hope this helped you. And there's other lessons in here that we'll talk about maybe in the next video. But I hope this one helped you, and God bless.